being. So, condition, Baal. What is Baal? Baal represents your condition. Baal represents your circumstance. Baal represents your environment. Baal represents that which surrounds you and influences you. That's what Baal is. Now, if you're in a negative environment, a bad environment, then what has to change? The environment has to change, right? Allahu Akbar. So, the human being is a part of the environment. Now, think about a little baby. A little baby is conceived in the womb of the mother, and the baby is conceived in darkness. Then the baby is born into the world, and knowledge is everywhere. Knowledge is everywhere. But at first, the baby's eyes is closed, even though they're open. The baby can't hear, can't understand the knowledge. You got conversation coming at him from everywhere. The father's telling him something, the mother's telling him something, the cousins and everything else. The dog is talking to him. Everything is communicating with the baby. But the baby don't understand, right?
Right.
Why? He don't know the language. He hadn't heard the conversation. But in time, Allah opens up his eyes, open up his ears, open up his five senses, and it begins to understand the communications all around him. You know, when Adam was created, when God created Adam, he created the whole universe for him. And God was speaking through all of the creation. And if Adam, his five senses and his original nature was working, he heard God's voice through everything in the creation. So he was guided. So then that represents your original nature. Adam, just in his form, was fine. However, what happened? Along came Satan. And Satan painted a picture now, saying, I got something better than what God got for you. Think about that. God gave Adam the whole creation. It was his. And Satan comes on and just paints a picture, says better than what God. And people fell for that. Adam fell for that. There's a story, I think it's a fable, Aesop fable, I can't remember what it was. They had an example that a dog was going across a bridge. He had a bone in his mouth, big bone in his mouth. Boy, he was happy. He was getting ready to chomp on that bone. So then he looked over in the pond. He saw another dog with even bigger bones. And he dropped the bone and he went after the bone that he saw in the water. He lost the bone. Allahu Akbar. People are the product of their environment. You know, there was an individual, it was on the news media. He mentioned about, we're in Chicago, and many people who are from Chicago, and I only saw them close up one time when I came over, when they first opened up the Stony Island, the building on Stony Island. But they had the projects all around Chicago, and they had us in the project. And in the project, that's what it is called, a project. It means an experiment. And you had all those people like sardines inside a building project. Probably was almost like when we came on the slave ship. Yeah. Sardines, all. Okay, so they had them on there. And it has shown in science that when you put people close together and live together like that, even animals, they would fight each other and so forth. So they tore down the project. And they sent them all around the state. And so this commentator said, yeah, they tore down the project, but they didn't take the project out of the minds of the people. Now think about it. We know, those of us that did volunteer work in prison, we know that you got people that go into prison. And Brother Deen works in the prison. They go into prison. And they have a prison mind now. A prison culture, a prison mind culture. So now you let them back out and they go back out in the streets, and some of them, they come back and knock on the door so they can go back into prison. They find a way to go back into prison. That's no different than how you say you can have a golden cage. A bird can have a golden cage. and that bird be in that cage so happy, and you open that cage after it's lived in there so long, that bird will fly out. But guess where you're going to come back to? That golden cage. We even have that situation, how they teach big giant elephants. You see big giant elephants rolling over and tossing balls and everything like that. One of the techniques that they do is that they start out with a chain, sharp chain, and tie them to a chain and a stake, and as the little baby makes some steps and go past with that chain length, it cuts into his leg. And they keep using it. Then after a while, they put a rope on him. And then after a while, he goes as far as the rope, but he remember the pain of the chain. Then he stopped. Then after that, they put a ribbon on him. And he don't go any farther than the ribbon. Then after that, they take the ribbon off, and he won't go any farther than that. They use that technique with dogs now, right? They got these little collars, and no fence around, and let that dog go past the yard to see what happened to him. At a certain point in time, they can take that collar off him. So then it tells us that it's not the chains that's on you. It's not the chains that's on you that has to be removed. It's the mental change. Your mind has to change. Allahu Akbar. And believe me, what's coming from me is not coming from Elam Muhammad. It's coming from Imam Deen Muhammad. Allahu Akbar. So you have to then you have the human beings. Okay, we're a product of the environment, but also the environment is a product of you. You look at a bird, and you come up with an airplane. You look at a fish, you come up with a submarine. You look at all those things that's out there, that's within the environment that's out you, in the natural environment, and you come up with things that are your handiworks. Your handiworks. And so here we walk out. We see these fine buildings. We see these cars, and we see these airplanes. We see all those things. And the problem we have is that environment right there. Because we see man's handiwork all around us, and then we can't see God. We can't understand God. We can't understand the reality of God. And this is the way the environment has been set up. Is set up that unless you got scientific knowledge, rational knowledge, unless you're able to use your faculties as tools and go into the earth, that you are inferior. That's where the environment is set up. So those of you who are plumbers, you're great at doing what? Plumbing, right? But when it comes down to electricity, can you do anything if that's all you know is plumbing? Those of you who are electricians, you're great what? As being an electrician. But if it came down to painting, well, somebody can paint. Anybody. I was the apprentice painter, and I worked on that for about 7 months. The only thing they let me do is scrape. And then after about 6 months, they gave me a paintbrush. And then after they laid me off, I was looking for a job, and a friend of mine was a contractor. He said, "Man, why don't you work with me? I'll give you a job painting the house." He gave me a brush and gave me some paint. I painted the house. Now here, 6 months now. Before I even got a paintbrush. So the environment. But you have to understand that there's different levels of knowledge. Scientific knowledge, is one aspect of it. But here you could be a plumber, and you could be the best plumber that's out there. But you might go out and rob a bank tomorrow. You might go out and rape somebody's daughter, or rape somebody's child, boy. But you're a great plumber. But you're a great plumber. You can do that particular job, but you ain't got no sense when it comes to human development. Allahu Akbar. So when you look at it, we realize that the knowledge that we get out in the environment is just tools. They're just tools. In order for you to be able to get more out of the environment, they're just tools. And you want to have the right mind that handles the tools. So with that, then what we have to understand is there's different levels of knowledge. And the highest level of knowledge is revealed knowledge.
Absolutely.
Revealed knowledge. And when we were referring to revealed knowledge, in this day and time, it's the Holy Quran. And the Holy Quran, there's nothing left out, as Allah says, small or great, nothing left out. All the schemes of Satan has been revealed in the Holy Quran. He can't do anything new to you.
Right.
So it was revealed 1,400 years ago. So Satan comes at you, you already know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
You're able to see in the future. A little bit back off the subject, on the subject, but off the subject. You know, so, the Holy Quran, everything is revealed. And so, everything that we need is within the Holy Quran. It was revealed to Prophet Muhammad. Allah revealed the Quran to Prophet Muhammad. And who is Prophet Muhammad? He's the Quran walking. So he lived the Quran. And we look at his history and we look at his example, we see that he had victory after victory after victory. He had help from God, a mighty help from God. And in fact, there were situations when there was only a small group of them. And a large group would start coming towards them, and they saw the small group, and they saw the small group as being bigger than what they had, because Allah worked on their mind. So you have to have a mind that God has inspired. You have to have a mind that God has inspired. That makes you a special human being. So now that comes to the where we're talking about 3 stages of growth. 3 stages of growth. Who did we say that Adam's daddy was? It was dust, right? Well, there's 3 wombs of darkness. And the Holy Quran says 3 wombs of darkness. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad says you were created in triple darkness. 3 wombs of darkness. So, and if you study many religions, as Imam Muhammad said, study many of the great religions. Many of them would say that darkness was their mother. Their mother was black. Mother was black. Are we talking about black skin? No. You take a black man, you put him in China, a black baby, put him in China, he's going to learn Chinese, right? He's going to be speaking Chinese. He's going to be eating Chinese food. He's going to be wearing Chinese dress. So he got black skin, but what is he? He's a Chinese. You think about it. When the children of Israel was in Egypt land, they were wearing the Egyptian dress. They were worshiping Egyptian gods. They were eating Egyptian food. So who were they? Egyptians. Allahu Akbar. In the Bible, it talks about what is it? Daniel. They had they would call Azariah and Hananiah and so forth like that. The Babylonian name, but then they were really Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.